our spouse that we know isn't good for us. We go through our entire life dealing with parents that are fucking abusive. We go through our entire life eating food that we know is bad for us, never taking care of our health. We go to doctors for no reason. Like we go through our entire lives and never have an honest relationship with ourselves. And I think that's the fucking pure definition of insanity. Like, go
Mm,
through your whole
mm,
fucking life and never know who you are, what you're capable of. Come on, man. We have one life and we have an opportunity, and everybody on this planet has the opportunity to take up and get an honest relationship with themselves. But it takes fucking work,
absolutely.
right?
It
And so
does.
that became my mission through sobriety was I want to know myself well. And so when I had sexual issues, what were they? Right? Why was I affected by men sexually? Why was I affected by pornography sexually? How did these things shape my behavior in the bedroom and and relationships at large, the way that I love people and how I use sexuality as a tool to fucking gain validation and all that shit. Like
Mm,
what
mm.
is it, what do I really want when it comes to sexuality? Like, do I really want more than one partner? Do I really want to be with one person? Right? Like what do I really want? And I had to get honest about what it is I really want, or else I'm going to be in a relationship that I don't want to be in. I'm going to be doing stuff that I don't want to do. I'm a seeker of truth, and I'm a seeker of joy, man. That's what I am. And
Mm,
I want to
mm.
share that with as many people as possible, because this thing that we have, this universal gift of abundance, it's real, right?
Mm,
It's fucking
mm.
real. And when we change the way we see the world, when we change the things that the way that we look at everything, everything we look at changes, man. And the opinion that I have of myself based on the way that I treat me reflects everything about what I think about the world around me, right?
Of course.
I'm
Of course.
I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm financially okay. My children have never had fast food. I've never fucking given them a hamburger. They've never set foot inside of a public school. We've had them in Montessori school their whole lives. They all are in jujitsu or gymnastics. We're very present parents. I'm a partner with my wife. We we work our finances together. We work our sexuality together. We build our dreams together. Um, you know, I think I would have to say that I am the type of person that God intended people to be, right? I think. And if I'm not, I'm willing, God's
You're
willing,
willing to to adapt. I get that.
show me what's next, because I'll do it.
That's very humble of you to say. And I heard Marty say the same thing.
Marty who? No, I'm just kidding.
I just wanted to say.
Who the fuck's Marty?
Marty, if you're listening to this, we're referring to Marty Evans, who did the podcast earlier this year, also from Wyoming. You said very much the same thing. And you know what I love about what you have mentioned, Will, is the fact that you are just so humble about everything. I said I wanted to get to this, in my walk as well. I used to give everything else the blame. If I came out of a bad family structure, I gave the bad family structure blame. If I had bad work situations, I would give the uh, the bad job. I would give the blame. But not once did I look in the mirror and say, you know what, I contributed to this mess as well. I don't talk about being a hot mess, and I don't talk about, because I give completely the wrong correlation to hot mess, because if I hear the word hot, I think woman. And when hot mess equals woman, oh my stars, I want more of that hot mess.
Fuck
But but that said, not once did I take ownership of my shit and say, you know what, I actually contributed to this mess. Not once did I take ownership of that. And it's a humbling feeling in itself when eventually the light comes on one day and you say, you know what, yeah, I did muck up. I did call this person a bitch. I did uh, talk badly about my colleagues because I thought that they owed me everything. And the fact that I just got the feeling one day, like yourself as well, what's next? When I started my new DJ gig, a woman who I had bad terms with, we worked together and she spread a lie about me. I don't care what the fuck she did to me. I just got this convincing feeling one day to go and make an amends, just impromptu. Got in my truck, drove an hour and a half to my place of work. Thankfully, the office is situated underneath a French brasserie, a French restaurant. Went inside, got some coffee, knocked on the door, and said, "Listen, I want to talk to you for a couple of minutes. Just don't say a fucking word. Just let me get it what's off my chest." And this woman is looking at me like this, Bill. I mean, she's looking at me with eyes wide as saucers. She's like, "What is going on with this guy?" And I apologized. And I mean, this woman's about 50 seconds away from opening up the mic to say her next link. And I can already see that glaze playing out in her eyes like, oh my gosh, what have I done to this guy? And today we've got one of the great amicable working relationships, I mean, ever imaginable. We're not buddies, but we're friendly with one another and we support one another. We go, great show. You did a great job. But even on a personal level, I wrote a post on Instagram yesterday where I said, you know what, the reason why I've never married is because of the fact I've treated women like shit. I'm the one that's always giving, but not once that I make my needs met. Not once that I spoke the truth how I thought about what real sensuality is. And I'm talking about emotional sensuality, the roses, the candles, the chocolates, the flowers, that sort of romanticism. But neither more, I never once spoke about what I expect physically in a relationship because I was closed off. And it's interesting, I have to add this in for good measure. I like to work out and listen to podcasts, and there's a guy that I listen to by the name of Sean Whalen, runs a NPO called Lions Not Sheep out of Utah, Provo.
Mine's not
And
cheap.
he spoke one time about someone who had attended a seminar that he had held somewhere. It must have been Vegas. And the guy came up to him and said, I've fucked up my marriage. My girlfriend got pregnant. It was an extramarital affair, blah, blah, blah. All Sean said to him was, and I'm paraphrasing Sean directly, go back to your wife, tell her everything, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And a little while later, must have been an email. No, they ran into each other again. And the guy got emotional and he said, I told my wife everything, what I wanted out of the relationship, what I wanted physically, emotionally, and even sexually. And his wife burst out crying and said, why did it take us divorce court to get to this point? Because everything that you've mentioned, I've wanted from the very start.
Yeah.
And, taking ownership of that, just out of the blue, last night when I got out of the radio studio, I just went to the nearest shop and bought my mom some flowers, not for anything. Just, I want to show her that I love her. Show her that love. And we went outside, had a cigarette, and I told the truth. I said, Mom, this is what I've been doing. I, ne- I never took ownership of the love that you gave me, and I never took ownership of the fact that when you needed someone, I never gave you my time.